why I have him on here.
Welcome to another episode of I Can't Make This Up, the show about bringing people together from different backgrounds through true stories. I'm your host, AJ Dunk, spelled all caps. You can find me at www.ajdunk.com. When guests take the time out of their day, I have to consider them to be special. So guest, if you would, please introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Kwabi, and I am the founder of the Peace Bus. First of all, I want to thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. Your show is amazing.
Thank you. No doubt. No doubt. I would like for you to educate everybody that's here watching now. Give us a little bit more information about the Peace Bus.
Okay, so the Peace Bus is an organization that the main goal for what we're trying to do is to find out what peace really means and then educate ourselves and others about what that is. That's essentially what's at the core of the Peace Bus. Now, it's actually an actual bus. It's a Mitsubishi 1988 van. And what I do right now, it's a humanitarian aid organization, local humanitarian aid. And I give whatever is needed in my community. That's what we're doing right now.
Okay. Shout out to you. Now, Kwabi, let us know, where are you checking in from? I'm in Jersey City. Where are you?
I'm in Tacoma, Washington. So if you don't know Tacoma, you should know Tacoma. But for those who don't know Tacoma, it's right next to Seattle, maybe 45 minutes out.
My guy Kwabi is here, and he's going to share a true story that has happened in his life. Now, while he is telling this story, if you have a question, there's a button down there that looks like this. You press that button, and once he is done telling his story, I will look at the questions, and if it's on topic, I will bring it up, and we will ask that question. But while he is telling that story, type away. Go ahead, comment. Do you pinky promise that this story is real?
All right.
All right.
Pinky promise. Yeah.
So go ahead, Kwabi. Tell your story, and we're going to sit back, and we're going to listen and enjoy.
All right. So the Peace Bus, to tell the story a little bit about how that all came about, the amazing story behind it, we have to start with the foundation. A lot of people maybe assume that I just have the bus and I'm running around doing things that I think are peaceful or whatnot. But it wasn't like that from the beginning. This started from an educational platform. I have an MBA, but I was in school and I didn't feel like I was doing enough. And I came across this guy named Brian Haw. If people at home don't know who Brian Haw is, this guy's amazing. He was an English peace campaigner, and he camped outside of Parliament Square for 11 years, just pretty much promoting goodwill towards men, love, peace, and harmony. The idea that since we're all human beings, we're equal. If Brian can camp outside of Parliament Square for 11 years, the least I can do is go to my local park. I made this poster right here. This one says, love, peace, and justice for all, right? War is not the answer, say no to violence. And I started talking to people at the park about peace and what it meant to them. Right. So every Saturday I would go to my park and do these things. One Saturday I was attacked by a random man. He was mentally ill. Yeah, came at me sideways. And so the next Saturday I went back, but I was paranoid. Obviously, I was like, is this dude gonna come out of the woodwork and hit me? Compelled me to go to different places. So I started taking my posters and traveling the world. I went to Ireland, I went to London, I went to Brussels, Belgium, Germany. So that was the groundwork. Continuing to do research, and I came across this guy named A.B. Nathan. And in the 60s, late 60s, he flew an airplane he called the Peace One from Tel Aviv, Israel, all the way to Cairo, Egypt, to promote better relations between Arabs and Jews, right? Maybe I can even take it higher, and I can become a pilot and be the first person to circumnavigate the globe in promotion of world peace. So I started taking flight lessons. This is actually my pilot log here. And I realized, okay, well, flight lessons are very expensive. And so I thought to myself, well, I still want to campaign for peace. I still want to promote it. And that's how the Peace Bus idea was born. With my income tax, I paid for the actual Peace Bus. It's a Mitsubishi 1988 van, and I bought it for $3,500. got it painted baby blue, sky blue. And then I got some detail guys to put the Peace Bus on both sides. And that's how that was born. I don't know if you remember, but this time last year, there's a ton going on in the media about the immigration crisis. And I thought to myself, well, CNN saying this, Fox News is saying that. What's really going on?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe I could take the Peace Bus down to the border of Mexico and interview Border Patrol agents about the immigration crisis, which is ridiculous. Why would I think I could do that? But the idea came in my brain. I was like, I'm going to try. Hey, I'm Kwabi. I got this bus. I was wondering if I could come down and interview you guys about the immigration crisis. And they were like, no, you can't. And when I hung up, I was like, I'm just going to do it anyway. So I announced it on social media that I'd be creating a campaign, the Peace Bus Journey to the Border of Mexico, and that I was accepting donations to do this. And in every major city in California, I'd be stopping and giving out blankets and socks to people in need. And it blew up. So we stayed with host families on the way down to the border of Mexico. When we stopped in LA, my buddy Kevin was like, Quab, you should just call the San Diego Border Patrol one more time and just see what happens. Hey, I'm Kwabi with the Peace Bus. I called maybe a couple months ago. I was wondering if I could come and interview you guys about the immigration crisis. They were like, no, you can't, sir. We just don't know you. And before hanging up, just before I'm hanging up, they're like, hold on. And I was like, what's going on? They're like, well, what's this Peace Bus all about? They're like, okay, just send us the website. An hour later, they call back and they're like, we want to see the bus. And I was like, all right, cool. So, yeah, man, it was nuts. So we get to San Diego Border Patrol headquarters. Two of the agents come out and they're like, all right, we want to see the bus. So they come, they're looking at the bus, and they're like, you guys came all the way from Tacoma, all the way up north to come and talk with us. We're like, yes, we definitely did. We want to know what's going on. We get in their patrol car, and we're driving on the border of Mexico, and we're seeing the border, and I had my phone out. I had my phone out like this. Okay, you can ask us questions. If we don't want to answer them, don't repeat them, and make sure you keep a safe distance, keep us, so we know you're not in our faces all the time. And so I was like, cool. And I pressed record. We asked them all the questions we felt people wanted the answers to, and then we put it on social media.
I gotta take a moment to gather myself. Shit. First and foremost, thank you very much for agreeing to come on I Can't Make This Up. This is the type of thing that I've been trying to do from the beginning. I wanted people to stop stereotyping. Like, I know that we have to judge off of first impression. Like, we have to do that. But we cannot just judge because somebody looks like somebody else that they're going to act the same and do the same. So thank you very much for coming on here and proving that. That's
no problem.
Thank you. I was in school, I was traveling, talking about peace. Then I was like, you know what? This guy was somebody, he was flying his plane. I was like, you know what? Let's go get my pilot's license. Oh, okay. When you paid $3,500 for this bus, was it in a condition where you were just like, I wasted $3,500, or it's like I should have got a better deal, or what was it?
No. It was gonna be more expensive, but he lowered the price down because he was like, I believe in what you're doing. I still talk to the dude today.
How many miles have you put on that bus since you've gotten it?
When I got it, it was like 325,000 maybe miles. And I since I bought it, I haven't looked at it, man. I haven't looked at it, but I'm sure it's crazy.
It don't run on fuel, it runs on peace, baby.
It sure does. It sure does, AJ.
Since I'm always asking guest questions, and you have a beach ball that is there full of questions, could you toss it up, catch it,
okay,
see what is in front of you, and then you ask me, and then I'll see what my answer to this question.
Let's do it, AJ. All right, here it is. Peace ball with AJ. Let's get it. Okay. How do I comfort someone who's sad?
How do you comfort somebody who's sad? You gotta make them laugh, baby. You gotta. The thing is, honestly, you have to be able to listen. That's the key thing right there. If they're sad and you're just saying what you need to say, you need to listen to what they're saying in order to help them become happy.
No days off. Peace 24/7. This is it.
What's been the most rewarded moment for you with Peace Bus?
I see this gentleman come up on the smoke deck, and he's dirty, just dirt on his face, oily hair, and his clothes are brown.
Right.
And he sits down, and he's getting ready to light a cigarette, and he sits down, and his pants are too small, and his pant legs rise up. And when they rise up, dude has the whitest socks. They were so white, in fact, when I was talking to my client, I had to stop talking to my client, and I turned over, and I was like, bro, you got some white socks. And he's like, yeah, you gave them to me. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you and your bus, the Peace Bus, you gave them to me.
Kwabi, I ask you, how would you like to be remembered?
A person who chose love above all. I appreciate you so much, AJ, for letting me come up on your show, man. I appreciate you.
That right there is something that young black men, white children, Spanish children, Latinx, everything. Everybody should see a black male in that light. Again, my name is AJ Dunk, spelled all caps. You can find me at www.ajdunk.com. From there, you got my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter. It's all located at ajdunk.com. Remember, laughter is always in style, and let them know, Ma.